Today we're going to be learning about layers. The first thing that we need to do to get started with this tutorial is go to Window, Workspace, and make sure that we are set to Essentials Classic. The next thing we need to do is open up our Layers panel. We can either do that by clicking this button over here, or if that's not available for you, you can go to Window, Layers. When I open up my layers panel, I can see I have a lot of different layers. I basically have all of these different elements on one layer itself. If I start to click around on things, I can see like that top bun highlights itself. So it highlights itself in orange. It tells me what I have selected right now. If I click on that in my layers panel, it shows that I have this. I'm noticing that as soon as I click on something over here, my layers panel closes. So I'm going to grab the word layers and I'm going to bring it over here and I'm going to hold it on this toolbar until that blue line appears. Then I'm going to unclick. That will automatically keep my layers panel open for me. So basically for this tutorial, we're just going to be putting this cheeseburger together in this order. So it needs to go top bun, tomatoes, onion, ketchup, cheese, burger, bottom bun. But right now, as I'm starting to click and drag these over, I can see quickly that that is not going to work because realistically, I want my top bun to be on top of everything. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Over here on my layers panel, I can see that my top bun is not on top of everything. The way that layers work, if you have a layer on top of everything, it's going to go in front of everything. So really the top equals the front. So my top bun, I'm going to grab these words and I'm going to move it all the way up here. Now, if I unclick right now, it's going to put my top bun in this fry container layer because that layer is highlighted. So instead, I want to make sure that I have a blue bar above the fry container, and then I'm going to unclick. Now I can see that that top bun is in front of everything. Next, I'm going to work on putting the tomato layer on the next top layer. So I'm going to grab my tomatoes, scooch it up until I get that blue bar highlighted. And I'm just going to keep doing that. Now, you don't have to click on every single individual item if you don't want to. I am just so you are able to see that layer is next. So once I get my layers good to go, I can start to put my layers together. Something else I want to point out, as we're making our burger, is you can hide layers. So let's pretend like I was working and I wanted my top bun to be placed there, but I wanted to be able to see my tomatoes. I could come over here and click this eyeball and it would automatically hide that layer for me. Another cool thing about layers, if you have your layers labeled, and I want to select my ketchup layer, but it's kind of hard to do right now because I can't see it. I can come over here and click in this random empty space that shows me what color that layer is, and it will automatically select everything on that layer for me, and then I can move it around as I want to. So once your cheeseburger looks something like this, I am going to click and drag over my cheeseburger to scooch it up a little bit so it's in the middle. Clicking and dragging over multiple shapes will select all of them at the same time. And when I do that, I'm going to click and drag over it. I can see that I have all of those things in those layers selected. The next thing we're going to do is put our fry container together. So I can see that I have a fry container back, I have a fry container front, and I have a fries 2 layer. We're going to try to put all of the fries on the same layer. So to do that, I'm going to select my fries I'm actually going to select them over here in the layers panel because I want to make sure that I have all of the fries on that layer selected. So I'm going to click over here, and that will select everything on that layer for me. And I can see I don't have anything else selected, just those fries. And to scooch them down to my fries 2 layer, I'm going to click this box and drag it down. And notice as I'm clicking and dragging, it's going to change that color to the color of that layer. So now I can see that both of my fries are on the same layer. So if I use over here to select everything on that layer, it will now select all of those fries. I can go ahead and delete this other fries layer because I now have my fries. It doesn't matter if you move all of the fries to fries 2 or if you move all of the fries to the layer labeled fries. The next thing I'm going to do is try to start to put this container together, and I can automatically see that this fry container top needs to go above this other layer. So this is the back of my fries container and this is the front. So this needs to go in front of it. In order to do that, I need to move this to the top layer, just above the other fry container. It doesn't have to go all the way up here. Keeping in mind that if I have the whole layer highlighted, it's going to accidentally drop that inside of that layer. I'm going to hit Command Z to undo that because I don't want that. I want this to go above that layer. So I'm going to wait until I see that blue bar and then unclick. From there, I can move this up like so. And then I can start to move my fries in there. Ooh, except for I'm noticing right away that those are not going to fit inside of there. So I'm going to scooch my fries layer up above this. Do we think that that's going to work, putting it on the very top? Let's try it. No, so it doesn't look like my fries are inside of the container. So instead, I'm going to want to put those fries in between those two shapes to make it look like they're going in there. So for the rest of this tutorial, you'll just be sticking those fries inside of your fry container. And I can see right now, I have every single fry selected. In order to move individual fries, I'm going to go into this layer panel. So I'm going to click this little drop down arrow and I'm going to select individual arrows. So I'm going to click randomly on the artboard to deselect everything. And I'm going to select one fry at a time to scooch over there. As I'm clicking to select fries, it'll tell me which fry, it'll show me which fry I'm selecting over here. So I'm going to unclick, click over here, and it'll show me that's the one that I'm scooching over. Now you don't always have to select items like this. The way that this loaded in for this tutorial, that's why it's making us move those fries like that. But if you have a regular thing that you created, it won't always make you do that. Alrighty, the last thing that we're gonna do is scooch these two meal items together. So I'm gonna click and drag over my whole fry, scooch it to the middle. I'm gonna click over my whole cheeseburger and scooch it to the middle also. I'm gonna zoom in, make sure that my cheeseburger is good to go. Double check that you have your top bun, tomatoes, onions, ketchup, cheese, burger, bottom bun, fry container, and fries, and then fry container number 2. Now, what I just did with the cheese, I saw that that was not named a layer. So in order to name this layer, I'm going to double click layer 3, and I'm going to name it cheese. If you double click it right where the words are, you can rename layers very quickly. If for some reason I wanted to add a new layer, the button for that is down there, but we don't need to add a new layer for this tutorial. So I'm going to hit Command Z to undo that. The last thing that we're going to do is take a screenshot with our cheeseburger, fries, and we're also going to show our layers panel at the same time. So going Shift Command 4, clicking and dragging over all of those areas, then you are good to turn that into Canvas.